Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another episode of that show that will not be named. I'm your host, Brian, or TK Prince, whatever you prefer. And today, I wanted to tell you guys a story that is 100% true. I'm not bullshitting you on this. However, of course, go figure, I cannot prove any of the events as they happened a very long time ago, before I even owned a computer or a television of my own for that matter. Basically, this is I guess you could say a gaming creepypasta that actually happened to me in real life. I might have talked about it before on the channel. I'm not really sure. I talk about so much on this channel. I have talked about so much. I just... bleh. Basically, I just want to jump right into it. No wasting time. I know. I go off on tangents a lot and my pacing's very poor, but... what do you want? It's 9 o'clock at night and I already started drinking at like 3 o'clock, so I'm going to do like the best of my ability to press on with this. Alright. The year is, I think, 20 some odd 04? Basically, I was living in Brooklyn at the time. I was living in this this beach community where I was born and raised, called Garrettson Beach in Brooklyn. And while I was living there for my birthday, I forget what year it was, I got the GameCube. GameCube was the first system I ever got. All my friends in school had like the PS this and the Xbox that and the Nintendo 64 and all that jazz. Up until I got the GameCube, all I had was the Game Boy Advance. And I played the Game Boy Advance for a year or two, and then my parents were like, let's get him a home console. Along with that home console, came a game by the name of The Haunted Mansion. And the Haunted Mansion game was pretty cool. It was basically, it wasn't anything like it was modeled more after the Disney ride than the Eddie Murphy movie that had come out at the time. Actually, fun fact, in that game, inside the case for the Haunted Mansion game, there was actually tickets that were free admissions to go see the Eddie Murphy movie. I ended up never using those, and I had my copy of the Haunted Mansion, and it still had the tickets in it. I don't know what fucking happened to it, though. It disappeared a while ago. And basically, this little creepypasta true story thing revolves around that Haunted Mansion game. When I was little, I was fucking obsessed with that game. Basically, it's a big puzzle-solving-ish game. You enter a room, you play this character called Zeke, who becomes the caretaker of the Haunted Mansion. Again, had nothing to do whatsoever with the Eddie Murphy movie. So what ends up happening is, he gets invited to this mansion. Let me click off this ad real quick. Back to the lo-fi. Excellent. So the game's about this character named Zeke. He becomes a caretaker of a mansion. He needs to clear out these ghosts. And the main bad guy is this dude called Atticus Thorne, who was in charge of this organization who tried to bring hell upon the world, and he's trying to make the whole world afterlife. It's a whole complicated story. It's a good story, though. Fantastic. In fact, sometimes I wish they would have made a fucking movie out of the video game. But still, the Eddie Murphy version's very good. I'm going off on a tangent. Anyways, basically, I would sneak down every single night into the living room downstairs to play the Haunted Mansion. One night, at about 3 a.m., all the weird shit seems to happen about 3 a.m. You notice that? Now, mind you, I don't believe in the paranormal, supernatural, any shit like that. This is just from years of experience with this stuff. I go downstairs, it's about 3 a.m., and I turn on the Haunted Mansion game. So I turn the game on, and, and basically when you play the Haunted Mansion game, there's like this thing that pops up, where it's like, if you want to continue without the memory card or whatever. And I go, yeah, let's go without the memory. It's whatever. I go through. And it brings me to, like, this little screen where it's like, it's like the gate of the mansion, before you go into, like, the options for new game or previously saved data, and you're going through or whatever. And before I get to that screen, I thought the game like glitched or something. It just stopped and it just kind of froze, and then the screen went black. But I could tell the television was still on. Now, mind you, we had one of those like big flat screen televisions. I'm talking about the one that's like a fucking box. You know, the ones people make jokes about them now, like, this is what a flat screen looks like now. This is what a flat screen looked like years ago. It was one of those big flat screens. We had that TV for quite a while. And we had these big speakers because my dad always liked surround sound. So we had these big speakers that were on two sides that were kind of like on these pillars. And when I turned on the game, it paused. And what it ended up doing was it looked like it glitched. And I pressed my save data. I went in, and it played through the the whole, there's an intro where you meet Madame Leota. Zeke comes up to the thing, he comes up to the mansion, goes to scare him. There's a whole opening narration and shit like that. And it played the whole thing on the TV. Like, it glitched out for a minute, then it came back, and it was playing the whole thing. Only thing was that there was absolutely no sound whatsoever on the screen. And instead, what I heard coming out of the speakers was, now this is where it gets like fucking goofy, and I know people aren't going to believe this one. What I heard coming out of the speakers was the sound of chains, screaming, and just like blades, and just basically your stereotypical creepy Halloween soundtrack bullshit. Is what I heard coming out of the speakers, and it's just like screaming. Like I said, chains going back and forth. You ever get one of those like Halloween ambiance type CDs that they would play in haunted houses and shit like that? It was basically like one of those. It was just all these creepy noises and spooky, scary noises and shit. And while the intro to the game was playing, and none of the sound from the intro of the game was playing, and I was little at the time, so I was fucking scared shitless. I remember being so scared, I fucking shot up from where I was sitting. I ran back upstairs to my bed, and I did not leave my fucking bed. And then the next morning, of course, my parents were like, who was playing the game last night? Because I didn't even bother to shut the fucking thing off. I left the TV on, I left the console on, everything. I didn't touch anything. As soon as I heard the sounds, and they were scaring the fucking shit out of me, and they felt like they were getting louder. Like, they started off very quiet, and I'm sitting there like, why doesn't the intro to the game have any sound? And then, you know what it was? I'll give you a very good example of what it was. Have you guys ever seen that Adult Swim thing, that Dawn is Your Enemy? Yeah? Okay. If you haven't, look it up. Dawn is Your Enemy. It's a bump by Adult Swim. If you need a moment, you can go check that out before you watch the rest of this. I'll give you a minute. You good? Okay. Basically, the extended version of that, with the screaming and the chains, that Adult Swim bump, that's what it sounded like. That's exactly what it sounded like. So I don't know if Adult Swim used that clip, and that clip was used in something. Now here's the thing. I don't know how the fuck the sound came out of the speakers, how that sound came out of the speakers while I was playing the game. Because as far as I know, the sound was hooked up to the console. So I don't understand how a different audio could have been coming out of the speakers while the console was plugged in. That's why I said the whole thing just doesn't make any sense to me. I consider it really fucking nutty, really weird. But it's really the only thing that I can't explain, out of a handful of weird, supernatural, quote-unquote, things that have happened to me. Most everything I can explain. That was just one thing. And listen, the game playing weird audio when it wasn't supposed to. Originally, when I was growing up, I'm like, maybe it was a joke, and there's like audio files, like creepy audio files, hidden in the Haunted Mansion game for GameCube, but I never really heard anything about it. I posted like inquiries about it on Reddit, never heard anything back. I posted shit about it on multiple sites, never heard anything back. So for a while, I'm just like, okay, I must be fucking insane, because nobody seems to know anything about this. But yeah, just a very weird occurrence that happened a very long time ago, and you could hook me up to a lie detector. I swear by it. I swear this happened. It's just very, I don't know, find it weird. I definitely think that there is a logical explanation behind it, but I just don't know what it could be, to be totally honest. So, I think that's going to do it for this video. Tell me, have you guys had any creepy gaming experiences below? I'm talking about, like, real ones. I'm talking about, like, like actual shit. I'd love to hear them. Believe me, I do read my comments. I even respond to my comments. Doesn't matter what you say. You say you like my videos, you say you want me to go fuck myself, it doesn't matter. I'm happy to read them all the same. So I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for checking out the video.